Fuck it. No, well, we're live. What's up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. T.S.G.P. episode 49 or something like that. Thanks for being here early. We got a lot of regulars in here. I want to get some shout outs out of the way. We have Stinking Corpse. Shout out to you, buddy. Z Black Rider, a sponsor on the channel. Crap Gamer, what's going on, man? Shaggy, Ashtray, the Indie Gamer, another sponsor on the channel. If you guys are interested in sponsoring the channel, hit that button. I think there's a button somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it is, but you guys can hit it. Like it always, never mind on that. That was going to sound weird. Anyway, let's talk about our panel here. We got a returning guest, Titan Drago. What's going on, man?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm just turning my volume down over here. How's it going? Yeah, I've had a good week of gaming. I went back into the backlog a little bit and did some. Last time I was on, we were talking about Fable 3, so I went back and played that again, beat it and whatnot, and excellent, man. Backwards compatibility, in addition to what do you call it, Game Pass. Allows me to play a game I haven't played in forever. It's awesome. Good time.
So, you got a new avatar. Is that Colt Eastwood special for you?
It is Colt Eastwood special. Yeah. I guess that's his name. I just searched up really old guy that does logos on YouTube, and you'll find it.
Now, I was giving Colt some crap because he's like, man, look at all these incredible people I've met on the internet, and they're all people he did logos for. And I'm like, so to be incredible, do you have to pay Colt Eastwood for a logo? And
I think so.
Shit, so. Okay. Now, shout out to Colt. He does good work. If you guys want an avatar, hit him up on Twitter. He does some good work. Also, the Graphic God, he does some work. There's lots of people in the community that would love to hook you up with a nice, juicy avatar for the community. So, yeah. Anyway, what else? What about the rest of the panel? I've missed your guys' faces, even though I don't see the real faces. I see these fake avatar things.
Mine pretty much sums up, though. It's about right on point.
Mustache Ride. How's it going, buddy?
Mustache Ride, man. It is going great. Let me tell you the
majestic
best thing.
mustache.
Okay. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get the story. Let's get the story.
The unicorn of mustaches.
Because obviously Colt did my avatar, and then so just earlier in the week we're sitting in a party chat, talking with Fonz and Salty and all the guys, and we're talking about it. Little do we know, Jay Fonz is chilling in the background and like editing this shit. And then he sends it to us in the WhatsApp chat, and dude, it was money. He wound up making the page for me because I wanted to do it, and he kind of went ahead and did it already. I'm like, well, damn, so maybe I should just ask him for that login info and just go ahead and take over that. But funniest thing. So if you guys know, well, Salt, you might know, like I joined like a softball league to do like once a week. So we're playing a double header. And after the game, you go do like the high five, like good game. And, like this one dude, he's like, good game, porn stash. I was like, I couldn't even be mad, dude. I was like, oh man, that was awesome. And the guy's like, man, I think I'm being a dick. I was like, no, dude. I was like, I hear it all the time. It's money. So if only he knew. Good times, man.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. I was telling Fonz, I was like, please, dear God, Punk needs to change his avatar and his Twitter account permanently because that is just a fucking awesome.
Yeah, I sent it to Cole, and he was dying laughing. He's like, dude, that's funny. So I just put it on my Twitter. If anyone wants to go check it out,
yeah,
it's pretty.
Hit that account up with a follow. We'll do something like make it a parody account or something like that, right?
That's a female jizz catcher you got right there.
You
need to have like gifs on there, like the best mustache gif and some other shit, right?
Just have like a dude going across with a motorcycle across the stash or something. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
She can't leak unless the mustache is weak.
The best porn stash in the gaming community for sure. So,
I appreciate that.
I would even say it's better than Dr. Disrespect's.
Oh yeah.
Hey, mine's an old natural, sir. Old natural.
I know.
They don't do that these days anymore.
The real slick daddy. That's what you are.
This shit's fake. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Shit's whizzy.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Anyways.
Noof.
Boom boom kaboom.
Boom boom kaboom is right. Noof is in the room Thursday night. Getting ready to roll out another episode of the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. It's going to be a good one, good panel, and good to have Titan Drago back again. What's up to the chat? Lots of decent, cool people in there tonight. That's right. So I don't have my Jizz Biscuit mustache on, but hey, I probably got a couple of hands while I was throwing around the balls right now. Let's get rolling.
Yeah.
Hey. Handlebars going on your balls.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Hey, you've been playing Spider-Man. You got early access to that. Wait, no, you were playing that old Spider-Man, huh? I saw.
Yeah,
late access.
That is what it is, man. It's like, you know, it's a fucking movie tie-in game, a lot of repetitious stuff. But I mean, it's still Spider-Man. You get to do some cool swinging, lots of good combat. Just I had that buzz to play Spider-Man. Since I don't have my PlayStation 4, I guess that was the next best thing, right?
So you had to go down to GameStop and pick that up because there's like some kind of licensing issue, right? Activision lost the license.
I bought it online. I found a copy brand new.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you guys want to pick it up, I don't think you can buy it digital anymore because there's some kind of thing going on with Activision and Disney and all that good shit. So, anyway, do you recommend it so far? I didn't ever play it.
You know, unless you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you've never tried it, and you can pick it up for a good price. Like if you can get it for $20 somewhere, you know, in a bargain bin or something like that, yeah, I'd say go for it if you're a Spider-Man fan. But otherwise, yeah, steer clear. It's not that good.
Honestly, the first, you're playing the second one, right? I thought the first one was better, but you shouldn't be able to find them for more than $10. I mean, unless it's still wrapped. I'd rather go pre-order by this time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
LBG, what's up, my dude? What have you been playing?
Shit. What have I been playing? I mean, I'm still feeling that high off Flipping Death and the Black Ops beta, but right now I've just been keeping it on Fortnite. I've been busy all week running errands back and forth to LA, so I've just been playing Fortnite, really.
Yeah, actually, the homie Irrelevant Native hooked me up with the Flippin' Death code, and I played some of that on the Switch, and it's an awesome game. You guys should check that out for sure if you haven't.
Definitely.
It feels good on the Switch. I don't know how. It's just a really unique game, unique art style. It's comedic. It's dark. It's a good game. Check it out. You can probably find info on LBG's Twitter. Dark, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, how's
Hey
everything?
guys. Welcome. I'm super
You bring down that excitement a little bit, please.
I'm gonna have to ask you to ease up on the excitement levels. You're here. You gotta
you
go
know
here.
what, man?
Sounding like Eeyore over there.
Will you guys let me talk shit?
I'm calling your mom and telling her to ease off on your Prozac. Jesus.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Hey, I need it, okay? No, but yeah, man, I've been just been playing. I've been recently getting back into Doom. Just wanted to play that again before Doom Eternal comes out. Also been playing The Walking Dead: New Frontier. I've been wanting to play the last one that came out before the new one, but you know I didn't get to do that. So I just decided, well, I'll just go get the third one and then, well, download the third one and then play and then play the finals. Then play the final season when the rest of the episodes come out or whatever. But yeah, man, I mean that's pretty much all of my gaming.
Awesome.
So far.
Take a bump and drink a Red Bull, and we'll move on to the next person. Bloody, I think you're trying to find a cure to diseases and stuff like that in the background. You're doing other stuff. Are you still there, buddy?
I am doing other stuff, but I am here, and I already did my line,
Diseases in
so I'm almost
recession.
ready.
What is
What?
going on? You still there?
Nah. Yeah, I'm here.
What
I'm here.
happened?
Nothing much, man. I'm just chilling, just listening on what's going on. Can't wait to talk about things tonight. You know, just trying to be busy, man. Just trying to stay busy.
Okay.
For the folks at home that don't know, Bloody's not going to be Bloody tonight. He's going to be somebody else.
Oh, okay. Just because I decide to not talk one time. Shut up, Goldblum.
Maxi Pad Max.
Max.
Anyway, let's get into the first topic, shall we? Let's talk about Black Ops 4 beta impressions. I'm salty because I tried to pre-order the game. and get the code. I fucked up. I listened to people and tried to pre-order it late on Amazon. Didn't get my code. But let's talk to the people that did actually try it. Let's get your guys' pure impressions on it. Don't hold back. Make sure you let the people know in the audience what you guys think of the game. So whoever played it, I think Titan, you played it. What'd you think of the game? You know, pros and cons, what your experience was.
All right, so well, there's a lot to talk about, but I'm gonna try and keep this short and sweet.
Okay.
It seems to stay on the short map or the small maps agenda. I don't care for that. I prefer the bigger maps. Other than that, everything seems to be a letdown so far, except for the heist mode, which I thought was a brilliant surprise. It's just like the what is it, Counter-Strike, or you get $500 to start with, and then like even dealing damage, you don't even gotta get kills. Like anything you do, if you deal damage, you get money for it, and that money goes into the next round where you can buy perks and whatever, guns, kill streaks, you name it. And so you can continue. My big problem is there's a few really overpowered things in that game that are just ridiculous. Like there's this one little thing you throw down, and it searches people out and electrocutes them. And if you get found by that thing, you can't move, and you're just electrocuted for like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
that's stupid to me. But we're still waiting for the blackout beta like everyone else. And if you did have a beta code, that beta code will transfer you to the blackout beta. So we're still waiting on that. But other than that, yeah, the heist mode is a definite good to go.
Yeah, when I was looking at my friends list for people playing the Black Ops beta, I didn't really see anybody on there, so I don't know what that says about the game, like the popularity of it, or if people are boycotting this one because it doesn't have, traditional single-player experience. But it's just weird to see an event like this going on especially Xbox is considered the shooter box, and not to have that many people on it. I saw people there, here and there on it. I saw Punk and Native and you, but it wasn't like an extended period of time, and it wasn't a lot of people. There wasn't a lot of excitement drummed up for this. I heard a lot of naysaying and shit talking on it, which is weird for Call of Duty. Punk, you got to experience the beta. What did you think, man?
No, it was fun. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's still Call of Duty, and it doesn't change too much. It has like the life bar now. Something about it feels like slightly different, but not major. It looks nice, it still plays the same. I had a blast with Native. The heist mode I suck at. We played that. Native's a beast at it, so I'll probably just wait for the blackout mode or just stick the team deathmatch.
Where is he?
Confirmed. That's just me. I mean, like I said, it's still the same game. I do believe since it doesn't have the campaign, and that's what it's getting a lot of shit for, they shouldn't have done the pre-order for a beta. They should have made an open beta, or at least as it gets closer, just push that open beta. I mean, they could still do it, but I don't think they will. But they need to get away from that pre-order shit when people are kind of looking down at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, usually that's to kind of stress test the servers, but we're talking about Call of Duty here, You don't really need to ease the player base into servers that you've already been using. And I think is it player to player or dedicated? I don't know. It's been so long.
I think it's dedicated servers.
It's dedicated? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Activision here, so it is what it is. They're just trying to get people to pre-order the game, drum up excitement for it, and get more sales to it, So it is what it is, man. LBG, you played it as well, right? You're doing some streaming on it. What'd you think?
Actually, the most fun I had on a COD game for a while. Played World War II. I didn't play Black Ops 3. I still have yet to play Black Ops 3. But, boots back on the ground with World War II. And then with Black Ops 4, it was a lot more sped up. I had a good time with it. Not so much the Chaos TDM and the other modes, but like Titan was saying, I had a ball with Heist, and it was a very pleasant surprise. During my stream, I was playing for like 4 or 5 hours. So, I mean, with the time I had with it over that weekend for the beta, I went from not giving a damn about it because of the lack of single player mode to considering paying for it. And sure, I'm still not sure about full price, but I'm mulling over it. So I mean, we'll see how this Black Ops, our Blackout beta does when it gets here in September.
Yeah, it's weird because I was watching you stream the game, and it actually looked interesting to me. Like I would like it. Like I'd have to get my hands on the game. But the boots on the ground aspect where you're not like wall running and all that other shit, I like that.
So annoying.
I think that the tactical aspects are kind of cool. Like you can put that barrier down and kind of block off an area. I actually like the abilities for some of the classes. I think that's cool. I think that's unique because in the end, I think Call of Duty kind of has to evolve or it's gonna die off. I don't know if it's gonna die off either way because just from the reception of this game, I don't know if it's gonna do too well. Do you guys think that Battlefield 5 is just gonna smash Call of Duty now, or do you think this blackout mode is gonna be the saving grace for the game? I personally think that blackout mode is gonna be awesome. What do you guys think?
Right. Thing is, the game with the better BR mode is gonna win in this round. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we still have we seen anything from the BR from either game?
What's up?
No.
Have we seen anything? Because I remember what they had. Like, I didn't see the Battlefield teaser today, but it was like a few seconds of their BR mode. But have we seen anything from Blackout yet?
Not really. There's like some short clips from it. There was like a helicopter and some other shit, you know?
Yeah, the question I had about it was the very end of that video where you could see there was a circle of fire. Was that the BR mode? Was that their version of the circle closing in?
I think so, yes.
That looked pretty legit. That's putting the teraflops to use right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to do well. It sucks that I get a chance to try it out because I do want to try it before I buy the game. It'd be nice to be able to do that. So hopefully I'll be able to get my code and try the blackout mode because that's pretty much the thing I'm most interested in. Chad, if you're still into Call of Duty and you're gonna purchase Black Ops 4, hit a 1. If you could give a shit less, hit a 2 in the chat, and then we'll kind of tally those up and see what's going on with you guys and get the pulse.
I'm pretty sure that heist mode and Blackout, depending on how the beta does next month, I think that's going to be pretty much the game's saving grace. I mean, wasn't having too much fun.
A lot of twos, dude. A lot of fucking twos. Well, we'll move on from this subject. Holy shit!
Whoa! I want to say something about Black Ops 4 before we move on. From what I played of it, it was good. I just don't see the longevity in it. I definitely see that it's a lot more of pretty much just Black Ops 3. Just with boots on the ground, no wall running, no boost jumping. That's fine. I don't care about that stuff. It is a lot faster than any of the other Call of Duties that are out there. But from what I played of it, man, I just can't see this game lasting more than a month. And to answer your question about if Battlefield's gonna win or if Black Ops is gonna win, I don't think either one's gonna win. I think both of these games are gonna do terrible. I think especially Battlefield 5. I think that game's just it's dead on arrival already. I think.
I don't know about that.
You didn't hear about the pre-orders then, did you?
So what did you hear about the pre-orders?
Not very many people bought or pre-ordered the game, so that means mostly like the hardcore people aren't going to get the game.
All right, so
that means like the longevity of the game is not gonna happen.
Hey, it's a great point that you're making. I'm gonna say something real quick and then Titan, you can hop in. I'm a huge FPS player, and I feel like this is the worst year that has ever been for Call of Duty and Battlefield in the same consecutive year. Like when you're talking about both games dropping and the publicity that it's out for both of these games, it's never been this bad for both games because as we know, the Battlefield situation, be it right or wrong or whatever you want to think about it, that trailer when it dropped was just, did you guys see how many dislikes were on that trailer? It's crazy.
Yep.
So the like to dislike ratio is tremendous on that, and you could say whatever you want with that, if it's right or if it's wrong or if it's this or that. It doesn't matter. That's the perception on the game. The people aren't really digging it. I personally don't give a shit about Battlefield because I didn't like World War I. The aspect there, and then they're going to World War II. It's pretty much the same old shit, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I think it has a lot to do with that as well. Is that they're kind of going in like a war chronological order, in a way, with World War One and World War Two, and then who knows what they're gonna go next. I mean, that's fine and dandy, but I think a lot of people were just really upset about the whole fact that they were doing a lot of things that they didn't want them to do, with the series and the franchise. So I mean, it kind of makes sense, and I think the same thing for Call of Duty too. I think there's a lot of things going on there.
As single player or multiplayer?
Both multiplayer and single player. I think but that's the thing. Like the single player, we haven't seen anything of, so we don't really know if that is going to be it's saving grace, because it might be.
I like what Battlefield 1 did with the single player and just telling different short stories. I mean,
well, go ahead. Sorry,
I was just gonna say I gotta disagree with Salty and Dark. I gotta disagree with both of you. First of all, the pre-order thing I understand, but the reason I'm only taking that with a grain of salt.
Yes, sir.
Is in the Saltiest podcast. I think a lot of people are waiting on this BR mode, and we're still waiting. In the games, what is it, a month or two away from release, and we're still waiting on both COD and Battlefield 5 on this BR mode. We haven't seen nothing. We got no gameplay. So I think that's what a lot of people are waiting on, because a lot of people are up in the air on this. I asked the chat before this podcast starts, and a lot of people seem to have their minds made, but I think there's a large group of the FPS fans that don't know if they're going to get one, the other, both, or neither. I think there's a huge market that still has their hands up in the air, wondering what the hell's going to go on here. So because just so much is in the air, and it all rides on these BR modes.
Yeah. My 2 cents on it, and I'll try to keep it short because I don't want to trash the Battlefield Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta or whatever you want to have it, since I didn't really play it. I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm not a Call of Duty hater. I'm not coming in here one of those guys, fuck Call of Duty, I hate that. Because look, I had a lot of fun with a lot of Call of Duty games. I was hardcore Call of Duty for many years, but somewhere along the line, a lot of other shooters, a lot of other games came out, and this one just kind of started falling off for me. I was never a huge fan of the Black Ops series, although some people swear by it. I'm going to say this much. The pressure is really going to be on Infinity Ward, who are the next people to bring out a Call of Duty. And if you guys remember the last one they had, which was Infinite Warfare, that I mean, while it still sold well, was far below Activision expectations. And this one could potentially be as bad or worse, depending on the sort of feedback we're getting right now. So the pressure is going to be on them for sure when they bring out a game next year. I do want to say this much, though. Inexcusable to have no campaign. They've always had one. I know it's not the primary reason that people continue to play Call of Duty, but it's certainly one of the biggest reasons why people buy it in the first place. And that was a huge no-no for me. They could potentially just come back and add it if they've started it and maybe it's close to finish and they put it out as a DLC. But if they charge people for it, it's a definite no-no. And with Activision's track record, I wouldn't be surprised. They're the kind of asshole-ish company that would put out a campaign 6 months after the fact and charge you $30 or $40 for it, because that's the way they are. But I mean, I think both games could be potentially in trouble. I think I'm not 100% sold that Battlefield 5 should have been a World War II game. I think right now, we went from not having World War games for a couple of years, and now all of a sudden we kind of got a bit of a glut of them coming, and I think it's almost like overkill, like too much too soon. They went with World War I, and now we're World War II, but a lot of us are still playing Call of Duty World War II. That was the only reason I got excited for last year's Call of Duty, because I wanted to see what a modern next-gen World War II Call of Duty would look like, because we really hadn't had one for a very long time. So, and I did like last year's Call of Duty. I think it was one of their best efforts in a long time. Kudos to Sledgehammer. Dude. But this one, man, I don't know. I think it's in trouble. The number of twos in that chat's not very encouraging. And crazy, if people hold to their guns, people hold to the guns, yes. But I have seen this in the past where a lot of my friends also swore they were not getting Call of Duty. Yeah. And guess what? A week later, they were all playing it.
That's like the butt of the joke, right? Go ahead, Punk. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. He hit it right on the head. Like everybody does that. I mean, even myself, I've done that too. Like I'm not buying it, then like everyone starts fucking picking it up, and you're like, well, shit, I want to play with my boys.
Right? Yeah.
Are you really buying it because you want the game, or you really just buying it so you have somebody to play with?
Yeah, exactly. I said that for how many of the last Call of Duties? Man, this game sucks this year. Like a week after it launches, I end up getting it. I game share. I think my buddy won it last year, so I didn't actually buy it. But yeah, that's the way it usually happens. But I haven't really seen negative play like this on both of the main franchises. You know, do you guys think that maybe it's I don't know, an industry thing with the FPS genre? Maybe people are just getting tired of it, or is it just?
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of these yearly releases, you know, of these games, like Call of Duty. I mean, Battlefield, yeah, it's every 2 years, kind of in a way, but you know, especially Call of Duty. I mean, every year you get a new one, you know. So it's like, does it really matter if I play this year's? Not really, because I'm going to get a new one next year. So you know, I think a lot of people are just kind of like, if you want to take some time off, you can, and then you can come back and play one of the Call of Duties later on down the road.
I mean, technically they are. We're getting this from 3 different studios, so they have like a 3-year development cycle on each game. But yeah, right, we do get a Call of Duty every year. I get you.
The formula hasn't changed. You look at the animation, the guy still even runs the same. Like they have not changed the engine. You would think at some point Activision would say to one of these studios, you know what, guys, you got 3 years. If you want to change it up, try something completely new. I mean, I guess this is the way it is. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. I guess they're too afraid to take risk and afraid people would go, oh, well, now they changed the engine. The graphics look different. The gameplay is different. It's not Call of Duty anymore, and therefore it sucks. That's where they're kind of riding that board on. It's better to keep making money on a game that costs them very little money because the engine's pretty much been done for decades.
What I mean? Yeah, that's exactly what it is, which is why I was fucking curious why they stopped. It was like years ago, probably 3-4 years ago or something like that, where Sledgehammer was supposed to be working on that action adventure Call of Duty, and then they ended up scrapping it. And I think what they got, I mean, I mean, I'm right on that, but I could be wrong. They had like Ravensoft or something come in and help them out and finish development or something like that.
This is why I like to lean towards Battlefield in the Call of Duty versus Battlefield, you know, war or whatever between the two, is because Battlefield 5 has made legitimate progress over the last handful of years. There's no denying that. Even with games that they've made that are not good, like what are some bad
Battlefront?
Well, with the cops versus robbers.
Hardline.
Yes, Hardline. You know, and they made significant advances in their engine, and it used to be very choppy, and now it's smooth. And Call of Duty's just sitting there, kind of riding their coattails, just like chilling out with the.
Well, that's because DICE, you know, they really take pride in making their Frostbite engine something to really look at. You know, they really are that team that just says, hey, you know, we want the best looking engine that we can possibly do for our games, and you know, they really take care of it. Call of Duty, on the other hand, they're more like, we'll just give them the same engine. Who cares? And we'll just tweak it a little bit here and there, and then, you know, we'll give them the game, and then they'll be happy with it. Which it isn't technically a bad thing, but at the same time, it's like, well, the games all look the same, you know? So it's like, it doesn't really matter which one you play.
I'll tell you what, next gen COD better get on the level of Battlefield, because Battlefield is legit.
I got an idea for you. Activision, listen to this one. Here's an idea, and you guys tell me if I'm full of shit or if I'm on to something here. But
well, you're always full of shit.
Well, I know I'm full of shit. But why don't you do this? Actually, here's how you really mix it up and you throw a wrench into that Call of Duty. You got 3 studios making games. Here's a Call of Duty idea for you. Call of Duty Movie Mayhem Edition. What it is Call of Duty, but instead of basing it on some fictional last war or like going back to World War II bullshit, you know what? Get fucking the likenesses of actors like fucking Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have what's his name? Arnold comes in from Commando. You got Rambo in there. You get Chuck fucking Norris from Lone Wolf McQuade. You get all of those old school actors, like from some of their badass movie roles, maybe a couple guys out of Expendables, and you make a game based around those characters and put them all in different scenarios. And I think that would be badass.
Yeah.
Just those characters alone would sell you millions of copies.
Yeah, but how
and
much
they got the money to do it.
How much would it cost to get them on board is the question.
Exactly.
Who cares?
More than the entire game would be worth.
Hey, because they're washed up, you know. They're hurting for money, you know.
Man, Activision is one of the richest franchises. Money is not an issue for those guys.
Say that again.
No, it's a good idea. The point
it would
is,
still cost more than the entire game itself.
Anyway, the point is they need to innovate. They need to change, right? I fully just feel that these two franchises have been so popular for so long, and the gaming industry is kind of moving in a different direction when it comes to shooters. Just kind of with the battle royale genre, they're trying to mold and adapt and put those things in their games, but there's kind of a staleness when you release a game every year or every other year, because like with the Assassin's Creed game Origins and Odyssey, like Odyssey might have a lot of changes or whatever, but it still looks like a DLC to me, like DLCs look similar and then people just get tired of the same old shit. And I think that's the case with Call of Duty and Battlefield. I don't know. I don't know how the MPD numbers will turn out in the end, but it's an interesting situation. Noof, you sent the message in the DMs that there was a gameplay trailer of Battlefield. Did that change your mind at all when you saw that? Were you on the fence, or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, as far as Battlefield, I was kind of on the fence. I'm still on the fence just because I just don't feel like I want to go back to the World War II setting. Other than that, the game looks incredible. I mean, like Battlefield keeps raising the bar. Somehow it seems like every time they come out with a game, it's like, damn, these guys really have an amazing engine with that Frostbite engine, and they keep pushing it to new heights. And it looks better than the Battlefield 1, like from an aesthetic thing, from the type of weapons that you're using. Obviously, World War II was a hell of a lot more advanced even than World War I was. But again, I'm not really excited about going back to World War II after being in World War II last year with Call of Duty. The trailer did look good. Their version of the whole battle royale might have some potential. The whole Ring of Fire kind of looks kind of cool. I have to see more about it, but I'm still riding the fence on it. It's one of those games that if I buy it, it'll probably be like a bargain bin purchase or a sale or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. What about everybody else on the panel? Did you guys check out that new gameplay? Juicy gameplay?
Nope.
For Doom or which one?
Oh my God! Someone cut this guy's mic.
My bad, dude. My bad.
It's all about that circle of fire, like new.
My computer's vacuuming, and then you talk about Doom or some shit. All right, go ahead, dude.
No, the only thing I've seen so far is like a few gifs of the Ring of Fire. I mean, I tried to see if there was any more of the BR gameplay, but there wasn't. So, I mean, I wasn't really interested. I got to see gameplay firsthand at E3. So
that speaks volumes to the excitement level for Battlefield 5. Like we have a fucking panel here that's supposed to talk about this shit. We have the topics. Hey, did you guys check out that trailer? Fuck no, that shit's garbage.
Ring of Fire, man. Like, I mean, gun on the ground.
I've always been more of a Call of Duty person than a Battlefield
that answers
person.
my question, right? The only Ring of Fire that you guys are interested in when you eat spicy food, I guess, is that.
Yeah, sounds about right. If it doesn't burn, you're not eating it spicy enough.
Anyway, I guess it is what it is with these two games. I think we're going to talk about the trailer. You frauds didn't watch it.
Call of Duty hasn't been good since Black Ops 2, and
my ass burns.
And as for Battlefield, well, Battlefield 1 was cool. It wasn't anything
Can we get a
spectacular
frauds hashtag in the chat for all these fools that didn't watch the trailer?
Hey, I played at least 5 when I was at E3 because they had it showcased there and it was cool, but I'm still not going to get it.
Like, what are we talking about? Video games? Where am I? Where am I?
Dude, I don't play games. You guys know this already. Come on, man.
Hey, since we're not going to talk about that trailer, you just sit
on tables and labs.
Since we're not going to talk about that trailer, let's talk about your favorite antacid. Let's talk about Tums for the next 10 minutes.
Fuck that! I'm all about that Pepto-Bismol. Okay. Let's go.
Anyway, so let's move on to the next topic. Since 2016, PSVR has sold a whopping 3 million units. It used to be 2, now it's 3. What do you guys think of this news? I know you guys are excited about this topic. Chat, you're excited about it, right? PSVR again. Woo!
Man.
I mean, go back to Tums.
Yes.
Yeah, can we go back? Because I'm gonna need it to clear myself after this fucking topic.
Oh God.
I mean, it good for them,
Hey.
but at the same time, I don't see PSVR getting up into 10 million or something like that.
VR is dead.
Yeah, I mean VR is not really where it needs to be, especially with gaming. Like I don't think people really gravitated towards it with gaming. I think a lot of people when they did, they went towards like something like the Oculus or the HTC Vive or something like that, instead of like PSVR, which is cheaper but less, performance wise, it's not as good as those other two. So I think in the long run, I think PSVR is really just not really a gimmick. I think it's more just something cool for them to do, something cool that they wanted to kind of bring to their system that nobody else was doing in the gaming front with consoles. So I think that's something that they wanted to do. But I think, the whole PSVR thing, it'll die probably by next generation.
Hey, hold on, chat. You're brutal, all right? Goodness.
PSVR
gracious.
I know.
Holy shit.
Okay.
All right. This topic, real quick. Hold up. So let me make it interesting real quick. It'll be more interesting than that topic, okay?
Jesus, the VR still. Oh God.
All right. So if PlayStation invests in VR like it's rumored like they are, if they bake it into the system and they push it next gen, is that going to be a repeat of the Kinect and Xbox One? Go.
One for yes, two for no.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't force anything on anybody. Look, as somebody who bought a PSVR, and also as somebody who got rid of it. Look, I do love the VR. It's actually a crying shame that I think that the VR hasn't taken off better than it did. But I mean, obviously, look, when your console is almost like one half the price of the VR headset, and you don't have a killer app game, right? Everybody knows when you're trying to sell a new peripheral or a new console, your launch lineup is crucial. You need that killer app. You need something that stands out and makes people go, "Holy shit, I need that." Otherwise, it's a want, right? And PSVR just hasn't gotten to the point where it's, work has convinced people that they need it in their gaming lives. It's an add-on. It's an expensive add-on. When you look at it, I'm sure it's a lot less than the ones for the PC, but those guys spending $1,500, $2,000 on these PCs and running these things, usually money is not of an issue for them. You know what I mean? Like that's why they have a $1,500 PC. But when you're looking at console gaming, you're in a different market. You're in a market where the average consumer doesn't want to spend more than $400 on a console. So if you're dropping a fucking VR headset on people, and I don't care how cheap it is, unless it's cheaper than a console, it's always going to be a tough sell. Imagine if the Kinect actually costed more than the Xbox One. I'm just in theory, right? We would have laughed Microsoft's ass right out of the fucking building, right? Yep. But that's just in theory. It's hard to convince people to VR. A lot of people haven't even tried it, and that's the other thing. It's kudos to Sony, who I don't know about in the States, and I think so in the States, but up here in Canada, they have done a lot. Like the last couple of years, I've seen them do numerous demonstrations at the EB game stores here to try to get people on the bandwagon. But again, you got to find better games. A lot of the games, if you look at the store, a lot of gimmicky titles, a lot of stuff that you can play and pretty much finish in 15 or 20 minutes or maybe an hour. You still got a large portion of the population that gets sick when they play VR, and that's a huge major factor. I think a lot of it comes down to getting it wireless and getting a VR headset that's cheap enough and also light enough where it feels more like a pair of glasses on your face instead of a fucking disco headset that makes you sweat and vomit. That's the way it is. So VR is still a ways out. When it gets mass adoption, it's anybody's guess, but it isn't coming anytime soon. Sony, I don't know if they got another version coming out, but they're going to have to come up with something better than what they have now. In order to make penetration. I mean, 80-something million PlayStations. I mean, 3 million sounds like a pretty good number, but not when you look at the large scheme of it. And the thing is, with 3 million, it's hard to get a AAA developer to fully invest in VR because they know there's no return on that investment.
Right, exactly.
Real quick. Chaos Theory with the $1 make you holler. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for supporting the podcast. And we had a new sub. All right. Well, I'm surprised he didn't put a note in there like move on to the next topic based off of the chat. So anyway, we're gonna move on because this topic is what it is. It's dead like the VR, the PSVR. So.
Yeah,
we'll move on to the next
destroyed
topic.
That topic solo style.
Yeah, because of the fact that VR, well, it's cool. It's just never been big. While PSVR is definitely the biggest seller, it's just because of the fact it's the most easily accessible.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's one thing I want to say about VR, and then we can move on. I mean, I just don't see why they would announce something like that. 3 million, and like what? PlayStation 4 has sold over 80 million.
80 million. That's like less than.
Like, why? I mean. That's pretty much something like nobody gives a shit. Like
that's 2% of their entire fan base.
You'd be surprised.
Solid.
I've gotten into debates with PlayStation fanboys, and they're like, "Oh, the attachment rate. Oh, it's such. They'll tell you all kinds of damage control with that number. So
I saw the greatest thing is that I heard from Sony people that PSVR is doing so well that they had to share their games with like Vive and HTC and like Oculus was like, no, why? No one would want the games on the PSVR. If anything, Oculus and Vive shared games with PSVR.
Yeah.
Like, be realistic now. It's like the only reason that Vive and Oculus aren't bigger is because of the fact that you need a decently well-built computer to support all the software that goes with it. Because the biggest selling point of VR is games. That's what makes or breaks it. But even then, you have to have a decent rig, and then the cost for the equipment to go into it is another $700, $800 or whatever, depending. So it's a massive investment to get into. PSVR only sells so well because it's like what, $400 total to get the full set and just have a PS4. That's it.
Yeah, and those dildo sticks are a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's the same ones from the PS3. Like, fuck, man.
and yet we're still on this topic. I guess you guys really do love the PSVR, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
We love hating on
Get
it.
that shit out of here, man.
Get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
PSVR has got a worse attachment rate than John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
Hey, Chaos. Wow. Hey, Chaos Theory with a $2 super chat. Here's another $1 to move topics. I think that's $2.
Thank you. All right, you heard the man. We gotta respect it.
Hey, let's stay on this topic so you know right? Just kidding. Anyway, Halo Infinite, according to this, I don't know what he was, an author, I guess, a developer. I should have read it better, right? He said that Halo Infinite's not going to be a prequel or a reboot. It's going to be Halo 6. It's interesting because they're pretty much, the way you look at it, the way the game was shown, it was a kind of a tech demo. Master Chief has his old armor. It's just kind of weird to me, like, so they're taking this massive amount of time in between, developing, Halo 5 and then Halo Infinite. Obviously, they're moving to a different model of what they want to do with this game. Some people are saying that it's going to be an open world type game. It's going to be a massive change from the other games. Obviously, they're spending more time on it, developing a new engine. But yet, it's still Halo 6. What is going on with this, guys? Do you think this is a misstep by Microsoft? Do you think they're right on the money?
I mean, I thought this whole time, they already made it clear that this was going to be Halo 6, a sequel to Guardians.
I mean,
that was my impression.
So if you talk to some people, when they saw the trailer, they thought it was a completely different thing. Like, I myself, when I'm looking at it, if you see Master Chief with completely different armor, he's going back to his old look. Like, that doesn't flow. It doesn't show me that it's a progression from Halo 5, right? It seems like they're going backwards. When I saw the way it looked and the way that Master Chief looked at the end, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Like you said, it's a tech demo. Maybe it was just fan service. Maybe he's not going to have that armor, or maybe the story's going to find some way to put him back in his old armor.
Well, do you think maybe this isn't really Halo 6? This is just like in between Halo and Halo 2 or something like that.
Yep.
Well, I know they're saying that it's going to be Halo 6, but I also know that I believe 343 had said previously that from now on they're not trying to do any more numbered sequels. Yeah, they're trying to do stories with the subtext, kind of like we saw with Guardians. for 5. I know 4 was going to be the last numbered one, so it's kind of up in the air at this point. But even if it is a continuation, it's still just going to be the subtext. Yeah, they could say, hey, this is technically Gears or Halo 6, so whatever, you know, but it's still Halo Infinite. It doesn't matter if it's technically 6. It's still just Infinite.
Right.
Just like 5 is still Halo Guardians. That's the main key of it all.
No, but in this article, they said...
No, I know he's saying...
It's going to
I know they're
continue
saying
the story,
basically-
right?
Yeah. We knew it was going to continue the story. They'd been saying that. They just didn't say where in the timeline that it was going to be.
My God, we got someone on the panel donating to move
I mean,
on.
that's the thing. I mean, I don't think Master Chief, you know, armor is official yet. I don't think that they've actually come up with the concept for his armor yet, because
just think of the blowback. They show that armor and then they have some completely different armor. Like, that doesn't make sense either if you think about
They're going to get blowback
Yeah,
for
that's true.
any change to the armor at all.
yeah, I mean, it's Halo. You know, there's a lot of Halo fans out there that, you know, want to see Master Chief look awesome or look like he did in Halo 3 or whatever, and you know, it's just not. I don't think that's going to happen. I think, you know, because especially since it's 343 now, you know, they're really focusing on getting both elements of the single player campaign right and elements of the multiplayer right. So to really focus on just the armor, like, I mean, you don't even really see it that much, you know. You only see it like
feel some way about this armor.
Yeah,
I'm not too much into the Halo lore, so I don't get what the big hubbub is about.
I don't either.
I mean, if you even look back to it's on the ring. Like, when's the last time we've been on the Halo rings, right? So that's big, right?
I don't have much to say about this.
Anybody seen my jock?
Yeah. I've always been very open that I know the least about when it comes to the games.
I don't
only
have
read
much
the-
to
I've
say
only read
about.
I read the books.
Oh my God!
I think honestly, Halo Infinite is more of a tech demo or a spin-off game, and I think there could be another game completely different that is like Halo 6 with a subtitle in it. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a possibility that there could be more than even one title in the works here, potentially. So they expanded their team quite a bit, so you never know what's coming down the pipe. You know. But yeah, the armor certainly changed a lot, and at least the tech demo looked pretty good, or whatever they showed off. I'm excited for it, but we don't know enough yet.
Well, next gen, bigger team screams different genre, screams open world adventure. I don't got much to say about it, just like Punkitish Gaming over here. Yeah. But that is the one thing that would probably sell me to this game. And let me get a 1 in the chat if you agree with me, and a 2 if you do not. If Halo 6 or Halo Infinite went open world, that you would be more enticed to buy it.
Okay, yeah, hit that up. Chaos Theory with the $2 make you holler. Let's talk about something that matters. Red Dead Redemption 2. I can't remember if we talked about this last podcast or not.
We did.
We talked about the gameplay, right? The gameplay
trailer.
Video. Yeah. So anyway, you guys excited still for this Red Dead 2? You gonna pick it up?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
over it. So tired of that game. Hearing about it. It's gonna flop.
He has different clothes on. Is it a prequel? Is it a sequel?
I'm just gonna be a negative Nelly today.
So anyway, Halo
4K
Infinite.
horse testicles. Who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah, did you guys see that meme on Twitter?
Yeah,
4K horse balls. Yeah, it was nice. Not the picture, but anyway, moving on. Gamescom's coming up. I want to get some prediction from you guys about Xbox in a little bit, but I want to talk about some of the news that's been coming out for some Gamescom information when it comes to a lot of these companies that are going to be there. There's been some news out there from some of these companies, and especially the Switch. It's been getting rumors of all this support, third-party wise, that I didn't see coming for the Switch. They're talking about potentially they could have Overwatch support on the Switch. It's feasible.
What?
Yeah, man. Overwatch could be coming to the Switch, and also, as we're talking about Blizzard, it's been confirmed, and you can actually go to Amazon. I think you can pre-order it now or something. Diablo 3 confirmed for release on the Switch. Let's talk about this news here. it looks like Blizzard Activision is coming to the table with Nintendo and working with them to bring these games to the Switch, which is awesome because I'm a Switch owner. That's why I like to talk about these topics because it's part of gaming. I think this third-party support that is happening on the Switch is amazing. They just need to get day-and-date games, which we will talk about because it's on the docket when we're going to talk about Doom and stuff. But what do you guys think of this Diablo 3 situation for the Switch? You guys excited about it? What do you think?
I mean, it's gonna. I mean, what? It's gonna rival Skyrim almost for most re-releases. I mean, that's the only. I don't know.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Well, I think it's. Go ahead.
What were you comparing Doom to in the chat earlier, Salty? There was some other game you were comparing it to.
Rage. Yeah, Rage 2.
Rage, yes. So comparing those two, I think your answer to that, like you were asking, what would be more enticing, the Rage 2 or the Doom, right?
Yeah, but that's coming up. We'll hit.
Right.
We'll touch on that.
Okay.
So, do you guys have Nintendo Switches? I think, man, this is a rough night for our panel, guys. Can we get another fraud?
Switch.
Get a hashtag fraud in the chat for these dudes. These guys are like the students that show up for a test and they didn't study for it and they fail it and then they go home to their parents. They're like, I don't know why I failed the test, Mama. You know what I'm saying? So hashtag fraud to the
I got a Switch.
So anyway, I'll tell you guys my take on it since I have one. Okay, I think this is awesome news for the Switch. I think it took 9 months to develop Diablo 3 for the Switch. If you guys don't know, it's a super popular game. It's a game that people can pick up. I bought it multiple times. I bought it on 360. I bought it on the Xbox One. Multiple times because they keep adding content. They have these rifts that are procedurally generated and they have seasons and they have content that keeps people coming back. I think it'd be fucking awesome to play Diablo 3 on my Switch on the go, and that's what makes the Nintendo Switch so fucking awesome. You could play these games on the go that you would never think that you would be able to do in the past. You know, Diablo 3 while you're taking a shit on the toilet? Come on, guys. It doesn't get better than that, right?
I mean,
Yeah, see,
Maybe for y'all, but see, me, I'm lucky where my house is because my bathroom's right in front of my TV, so I could do it right from there. So I don't need a switch in the bathroom.
Don't lie.
Do you know how much my wife
I will show you where my shitter is. I will do it.
Do you know how much my wife would make fun of me if I brought my Switch up to the shitter?
I don't need explanations. I just know that I would do it, all right? Make sure you clean it afterwards. That's what she said. Anyway, we got a super chat from Ashtray Gaming. All good, Salty. Great show, guys. $14.99 super chat. Thank you, buddy. We played
guys.
Sea of Thieves the other night, and it was fucking awesome. Love that game. So what were we talking about? Taking a shit and playing the Switch?
Yeah, well, I was just going to add that I think it's great that Diablo 3 is coming to Switch. It's a very popular game, and it should work relatively well with the Switch hardware, and it's another great addition to bolster the lineup. It's good to see the support coming. It's a little disappointing at times to see that some of that support happens to be ports, et cetera, et cetera. But hey, games are games, and you know, to be able to take basically one of the biggest games, I suppose, over the last 10 years and be able to take this thing anywhere and hopefully, play some friends online. I think it's huge. I'm a big fan of the game. I think Diablo 3 is awesome, and to have it come to Switch is great. And speaking of Switch, Salt, I was going to ask you, did you get a chance to check out the Monster Hunter Ultimate? Because that's coming to Switch apparently now.
Oh, yeah, there's a free demo for that, so make sure you guys check that out. It's not Monster Hunter World, so don't get your...
Isn't it Generations or is it Double Cross?
It's Ultimate.
It's
Generations.
Ultimate.
Ultimate?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing I'm curious with as far as D3, well, two things: is there crossplay, and if you've been playing on, well, not PS4, I'm pretty sure that's out of the question, but Xbox, will you be able to carry over your progress like if you Fortnite?
Yeah, we talked. Who was I talking to about this? Cross progression, crossplay is a huge topic. Nintendo, Xbox have a great relationship, but I was talking about this with Diablo. Like when I buy the game anew, when I bought it from 360 to Xbox One, I didn't transfer my progress. I could have. I started new, and it kind of gave me the motivation to play the game some more. So the cross progression situation it would not benefit Activision and Blizzard per se and Nintendo, because if you carry that over, it's like, I know that people say when they play Diablo 3, there's, you know, the end game where you can do these seasons and in the rifts and the greater rifts and the procedurally generated shit. But at the end of the day, when you have all these characters maxed out, there's not much motivation for you to get into the game. So if you progress all your stuff from Xbox, then you'll have all your characters maxed out. But if you buy it on the Switch and it's a fresh experience, you know, you have to level up your characters again, it might motivate you more to play the game. So I personally, even if there was cross progression, I probably just start over on the Switch. You know what I'm saying? So
see, that's the thing. I agree with you guys about, you know, being able to take that game portable and stuff like that. But I mean, the game on console never lives up to the PC version of the game. I mean, the game on PC and Mac.
Get out of here!
No. Hear me out. Hear me out here.
Wait, are we talking about PC elitist shit right now?
No,
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Get the fuck out!
Shut up.
GTFO.
Shut up. Here's the thing. Like, when you go from taking this kind of game and putting it on console, you don't really get that same, you know, satisfaction that you do when you play it on something like a mouse and keyboard or something like that, because this game,
somebody cut this guy's mic.
Yeah,
I mean, this game definitely deserves to be played on PC. But I will agree that the fact of it being able to play it mobile is completely amazing. I'd never expected them to actually do that, because I just thought, you know, it's Blizzard, like they're more PC, they're kind of getting into the console space. I just was like, I don't ever think that they're ever going to go towards the Switch, but
exactly,
this is awesome, man.
That's the key. This relationship, and Nintendo Direct is, make sure you hit him with the follow and a sub. He does Nintendo content. He's been talking about the news when it comes to Overwatch. He was talking about it way back in the day, and I think I kind of went counter against it and said it wasn't going to happen, but he called that. I think this is, like you said, people are underplaying what this means, that Blizzard's actually coming to the table and saying, hey, Nintendo, you guys are selling enough Switches where we want to come to the table and we want to spend 9 months on developing, you know, porting over Diablo 3 to your system, because we know it's going to make money. So they know that this system is viable enough to bring it over. So we're seeing, you know, examples that even that it has, you know, not a lot of power, you still can put games like Wolfenstein 2 on there, right? So
well, that's the thing. You have two of the biggest publishers / developers putting their games on the Switch. It boggles my mind as to why there is like that they're not making a game specifically for the Switch, which I can't really say that because I'm sure they probably are, or the fact that there's a lot of games that aren't coming to the Switch that probably would be fantastic on the Switch. So it's like I don't get, you know, why it's taking so much time for these developers and publishers to be like, oh yeah, you know, because I mean the Switch has been out for what, a year now, something like that, maybe over a year now. So I mean, you know, like it is still in its infancy, but I think, you know, porting these games over may take a little time, but like there just needs to be more. I think yeah, well, you know, I think a lot of developers are kind of starting to look into that as well.
I don't know, man. The biggest thing for me that I heard Salty mention was Overwatch. I mean, I feel like maybe Overwatch possibly coming to the Switch would probably like breathe some life into it, because I mean, ever since Fortnite, because well, Overwatch used to be
seeing a lot of
switches. PUBG came, and then Fortnite came. So I think like a lot of more kids on Overwatch would probably breathe a little bit of life into it. I don't know, maybe.
Well, I think Overwatch, if it does come, I think it'll be a fantastic game for Switch, because you know people will be able to take that on the go and play anywhere, and you know, and I think, you know, Overwatch, you're gonna see a lot of people. You're gonna see a lot of broken switches on on Twitter when Overwatch hits.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
I think one of the biggest things that we can look for with the Switch is the fact that they're talking about dropping day and date support for the Switch.
Yeah.
That's the game changer, because the third-party support on the Switch has been lacking. And that's the main, hurdle for a lot of people to overcome. They don't want to buy a Switch because they're like, well, if I spend all my, if I spend my money on a console and all I'm getting is first party and indies, does it warrant the price? And then they're getting the third party support, but it's after the fact. They got Wolfenstein after the fact. They're getting, Diablo way after it came out. But now they're talking about, hey, we might drop Rage 2 day and date. We might drop Doom Eternal day and date. If they start doing that shit, like, watch out. Like, that shit's crazy to me.
It might even go
ahead, dude. It's just crazy to think if they start dropping these third parties day and date, and you can dock it, you could take it portable. That's game changing right there.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that it's game changing. That if they do that day and date, it's almost warranted to just buy the game on the Switch.
Yeah.
At that point, because especially if you're, a very mobilized person, you definitely are gonna want to buy that on the Switch. I mean, yeah, a lot of us are on this panel, or probably mostly like at-home gamers, where we stay at home, we play our games, and that's it. But we got to realize that there are a lot of people out there that have these types of jobs and these types of careers where they have to travel a lot, and for these games to come out day and date is fantastic.
I think you guys are asking a bit too much of this day and date. I mean, I think it's just a miracle.
Hold on. All right, so Z Black Rider, the SoC isn't x86, so more work for the devs. That is true. Those versions are beyond subpar in comparison to the big two. He's talking about Sony and Xbox. I want to touch upon this real quick, because obviously that's true. Both of those statements are true. Okay, so the SoC basically, what he's talking about, it's going to take more work, but it's all about supply and demand. If they're going to be making loads of cash off of these ports and supplying these games to the people, if they make the money, they don't care if it takes extra time to make these games or port them over. So
right.
I've played certain games on the Switch, and yes, it's a downgrade. Like when I play Fortnite, it's a downgrade. But the fact that you're playing, I can't emphasize this enough. If you don't like the portable aspects of the Switch, then you're not going to really understand how cool it is to be able to play Diablo 3 on the Switch. Because if you're playing it docked, what's the point, right? Like, you could just play it on your X.
Well, that's the thing.
So
I have a question for you. Is it a significant enough of a difference between the Xbox version of Fortnite and the Switch version of Fortnite that makes you be like, oh, I don't want to play it on the Switch. I'd rather play it on Xbox.
I mean, if you're a snob for performance, I could definitely see someone saying, I'm not going to play this shit because the draw distance is different, the resolution's bad, and if the frame rate's different. So yeah, it does affect it.
Okay.
It does have the effect for sure, because we've even seen that when Doom launched on the Switch, and it did have performance issues, but the fact it still remains, and the big key about it is the fact of that they're able to do this. And if they are able to start doing it, as you were saying, day and date, that's just the biggest thing for people, as everyone's been saying, who have that mobile life, who prefer to play on the go. That works. Now, of course, there are going to be people who buy two, because there are people who are going to want to play it when they sit down and don't want to use the dock. Even when it's docked, it's still going to have those performance issues, but we'll have it separately and basically play it twice. But the big thing is that, as you were saying earlier, Salty, is that just having that third-party support is what's really helping Nintendo right now. We're starting to see more devs come out, because that's what killed the Wii U, is not having that third-party support. And the Switch has actually been in a good spot because it is getting that support. It's coming later, but they're still getting it. Because I told, and me and Nick talked about this a while back, is like, I told him that there are games out there that would absolutely work for it. Especially when they mentioned Diablo 3. Diablo 3 being an isometric dungeon crawler, those don't take a lot. The biggest thing that's going to be is especially for like a lot of the procedural generated stuff and all the stuff that goes through their seasons and online, that's where they're going to need their infrastructure to come in for their online networks to connect to Blizzard servers. But as for the games themselves, they are absolutely possible. Overwatch, I can see it because while it is a first-person shooter, yes, and first persons are weird on the Switch a little bit right now. The biggest thing is that Overwatch isn't overly demanding because of the fact that the maps themselves are very small and contained. The only thing that's like graphically heavy about them is just the models. And even then, it's not as much as it is for the characters. But that's going to be the only thing that may cause any sort of like big concern for that game on it. But a lot of what's coming is absolutely wonderful for Switch owners.
I was just saying, as far as day and date releases go, I was just saying, like, I think you guys are asking a little too much because of that extra development work and because of the Switch is so underpowered compared to the other big two. I think that's just a big stretch. Like, it's just a miracle to get these games running on the Switch, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that it doesn't matter that people are running with the narrative that it's weaker on the Switch. It's the fact that there's enough people or enough developers that are out there even trying to get this to work and that are actually able to get it to work. That's the best thing, because that means that that the architecture for the system is not so hard to work with that no one's able to do anything. It just takes a little bit more effort to get these up and running. That's the best thing about it.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing with the third party games. It's like it's almost kind of a damper when they come out later on, because I think a lot of people who played those games, they played them on their Xbox, or because most people who own a Switch own another console at their home. So it's like it's almost as if it's meaningless when they don't come out day and date with the Switch, because of the fact that people can't. They have to wait months or even a year to play the game when they would just play it at home. Like it's just,
but
they need that day.
Real quick. New, what were you gonna say? I heard you trying to get in there.
I just wanted to say that, you know what, I do have to sit back and applaud Nintendo for going the left when everybody else went right. You know what I mean? Because if there's one thing the Switch has already proven to gamers, is that great games don't need to have the best performance or resolution to be great games. I never heard anybody talking about Mario Odyssey being shit because it didn't run at 4K. Look, Nintendo makes good games, and that is something they have always proven. They put quality in their games. They don't rush their shit out. They don't have 5 billion updates the fucking moment something drops. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have updates, but they're certainly not near as intensive as competitors when they break their games.
But the thing about that, Nuke, is that those are coming from their first party. They have skills in using their own architecture. That's absolutely not the issue. It's when it's coming from third party specifically, because Mario Odyssey fucking looks absolutely beautiful. Breath of the Wild, beautiful. But those are coming from their own first party studios that understand their own system. It's a lot of third parties.
What he's trying to say is there's been a push towards resolution, performance. You have your you have all these analysts out there talking about performance and frame rate and all this textures and this and that. But in the end, what does it come back to? It comes back to what is the game? What is the experience you get? The gameplay. Like Mario Odyssey, I think when you take it off into portable mode, I think it's at 720 or something like that. But it doesn't look it. It still plays outstanding, So.
Nintendo's success is not just because they made some great games and the fact that it is portable and it's become the secondary gaming console for like most of the. I think there was a stat I saw it somewhere recently that I think it's like 80%, I guess, of like people that have a Switch already have one of the other consoles. Not surprising. I think most people are like that on the panel. I wouldn't have a Switch as my primary console just because it's a great secondary and it goes portable. But that in itself is part of the reason Nintendo's successful with the Switch, because one, they know the portable market. They basically had the monopoly on it for years, and two, shame on Microsoft and Nintendo for not stepping up and going after that market, because you know what, the PS Vita, the biggest shame on Sony's mark to me was the fact that they let that impressive, fucking amazing little portable fucking die an early death. They jumped off the bandwagon on that thing before it even got going. And I'm still mad at Sony for that, because I can pick one of those up today and it's like, this thing is fucking ahead of its time. It was an amazing little portable that had like PS3 quality games in your hand that looked as good as like half of the Switch titles out there now. It still looked as good, if not better. But Sony, for some reason, didn't back it. I don't know, they got scared. Maybe the cell phone market.
Fucking portable shit, dude. They never do. They did it with the PSP. They dropped that shit so quick.
PSP was actually a massive success. One of the most successful consoles of all time. Japanese market was huge for PSP.
Well, I remember I had a PSP when I was on a submarine in the Navy, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, the Japanese market, they love portable shit, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And Microsoft didn't step up with the console either. Microsoft saw an opening and didn't jump on that rope either. They could have come up with some kind of portable too, but nope.
I mean,
I'm glad that they didn't, though. They didn't need to.
I mean, at this point, when we're talking about cloud shit, and I won't get into that, but it's a way for Microsoft to get into the portable realm without actually, developing the hardware, but we won't get into that. But I just want to touch upon some other stuff real quick. So, new Super Mario Bros. Rumored for the Switch. So, that's just another rumor out there. I think it's cool. I think that game would be awesome there. And then, speaking of Doom and Rage 2, Doom Eternal, we wanted to get this question out for the audience. Which one do you think is going to do better, Doom Eternal or Rage 2? And then the second question, which title are you guys more excited for? Because this is going to lead us into our next topic, because it's a big Bethesda topic. So, real quick for the panel, Punk, you said you hate Bethesda, right? Is that correct?
I can't say I hate it, dude. Like I said, pre going live, dude. Like none of their games excite me at all. And you all can hate me all you want. Everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel, I give zero shits. I just don't like anything they put out. Point blank.
Okay. All right.
Doom will do better. PSP was shit. DS was better. I'm saying.
Right.
What does that have to do with that?
I was like, what is the PSP?
I say whatever the fuck I want.
Somebody cut this guy's mic. All right.
And, gaming is good.
Noof, what about you, man? Yeah, gaming is good.
Yeah. Sorry, I just lost track of where you're going to have to remind me what was the question
Fraud
again?
in the chat for Noof Nukem. LBG, what do you think, man?
I mean,
another fraud in the chat for.
I'll jump on this. I'll jump on this. All right, Doom will sell more. Doom will be the better game to most people, but Rage 2, in my opinion, is going to be the better game.
Get the fuck out! All about the heavy metal.
Simply because, in Doom, I hate having to get all these damn different colored key cards, and I'm.
What'd you call me?
I got the yellow key card, I need the blue key card, and I get the blue key card door, and I need the red key card. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so annoying.
Kick his ass, LVG.
No, okay.
So annoying.
He called me what? No, I mean, my whole feeling on it, because I love Rage. Most people I know didn't like Rage. They didn't like the way it abruptly ended. I enjoyed the whole gameplay from beginning to end. Yeah, I felt that same way about the ending, but I enjoyed enough of the gameplay where it didn't bother me. I enjoyed Doom. I wasn't really a Doom person growing up at all. I was a Return to Castle Wolfenstein guy. But playing Doom for the first time on Xbox One, I was just fucking blown away. The gameplay was quick. The weapons were amazing. The boss battles, and not even just the boss battles, just like traversing around the whole levels. It was amazing. And when I just saw the Doom Eternal trailer right before the show started for the first time, and I was just amazed. I didn't think the gameplay could get any faster. But in between Doom and Rage, I mean, I'm gonna have to give it, because of how people felt about the first Rage. I played Rage 2 at E3 for a good while, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, but I still think that Rage 2 has a lot to prove. I'll be getting both, but as far as the public, I think they're going to gravitate more to Eternal than Rage 2.
Did you ever have the key card issue like I had? Like, I hate
Yes, that was fucking annoying, but I still enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
That was fucking annoying.
They could do without that, really, right? I mean,
I really
scrap that.
Nope, it's already there. If you watch the gameplay reveal from
scrap it.
Was it?
QuakeCon. Yeah, it was in QuakeCon. They showed it in the trailer at QuakeCon.
Just get rid of it.
Oh,
Get
are
the
you
fuck
talking
out.
about in the extended gameplay? Because I only saw like the 4 minute.
The main character, he grabs a worker. He has a key card around his neck.
Oh
and he,
yeah,
like,
I saw
blows
it.
him
Not
across.
not
and
even
spins
that.
it.
Yeah, I saw him like grab him
No,
around
Salty,
his neck and then put it in.
not even that. In the actual like first 6 minutes, they actually show him going through a portal, grabbing a yellow key card, and going through a skull, and going off from there. Like they were showing that.
I must have
Like, I'm
missed it.
sure it's gonna be in there. They just need to take it out because like these things are on dead bodies that you don't even touch oftentimes. Like, that's just the annoying part for Doom for me. I'm sorry.
I could definitely understand it. The rooms and trying to. It's just part of the Doom lore. You know what I'm saying? Like in the first original Doom, that's how it was. You know, so that's how it's always been.
I'm more excited for Rage 2 just because Rage 2 looks like it's I mean, well, it's only had one game prior to, right? The original Rage, which was a decent game, but I think, it still left a lot to be desired. This one looks like they've really upped the ante, where Doom, Doom was an amazing game, but yeah, to me, Doom looks like pretty much a carbon, it's like a COD thing. Like it's a carbon copy of the last game with a couple extra weapons, a new fucking meat hook or whatever, you fly through the air, but Rage looks like it's doing a lot more new with, you know what I mean? Like
because it has to.
Because it has.
Right?
Rage literally has to completely redefine its DNA because of the first time around, while it was cool, did not fucking work. And that was nearly, 8-10 years ago? They have to do something completely different to make it sell anyway. Yes, it came out during the 360 era.
It was towards the end of the 360.
Yeah, so it was about 2010. It was about 2010, so it's been almost 8 years. It has to completely redefine itself. Doom 2 does not have to do significantly more because they can expand on it but still keep it similar to what they did 2 years ago with the reboot already completely reimagining everything.
Calm down before you blow.
I know. I was like, why is he mad right now?
It's okay. This dude is salty as fuck. He's hyped. He did a bump, and I'm grateful for that. Okay, I'm grateful for you.
I'm excited for both games. I'm more excited for Rage 2, but if you had to ask me what's going to do better as far as selling more copies, I think it's going to go Doom. But I think Rage 2 is going to be received a lot better than the first one.
It will be, dude. I think that's going to be the sleeper for the year. Let's get into this Bethesda news because it's been fucking awesome, by the way. Hit that like button, chat. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. We have a contest going on. I'll put that in the description, so make sure you check that as well. We're going to be giving $60 away to Nintendo eShop, PlayStation Store, Nintendo. Yeah, it's all there. Just check out the description. Anyway, let's move on to this news. Bethesda puts their foot in the ground over crossplay. They said they're not going to bring over Elder Scrolls Legends, which is a card game. It's a beginning. It's a small beginning, but it's a start to say, hey, we're not bringing over this game that's a card game, but it's a start. I've had these discussions in my comment section. Bethesda's like that company, that has the balls to to call people out. They've done it before. They said, when they were talking about the new Fallout game, they didn't, name names. They were talking about PlayStation with the crossplay, but now they're just saying, hey, it's a card game. It doesn't rely on FPS or lag or this and that. It's a strategy game. Like if you
don't matter.
If you don't have crossplay, you ain't getting this game. So PlayStation's not going to get this game, right? So,
but that's
it is what it is, right? It's just a card game, but it's a beginning. So what do you guys think?
But that's the thing right there.
Went just a card game?
Hold on. Yeah, it was just a card game. But here's the thing, like with this game, who cares? Like no one cares about this game. Like I mean, I could see if it was like Fallout 76, definitely. I think it would be much of a bigger stamp and a bigger stomp in the ground than say this game because of the fact that there's so many people who are hyped for it. I think it is kind of for a game like this, crossplay probably would actually be the best bet for it because of the fact that I don't see very many people playing a lot of these games, except for maybe like, there's still a lot of people who play Hearthstone, and there's still people who play Gwent here and there. But I think these card games, I don't really see these like as a big of an impact as these other games that aren't getting crossplay, like Fortnite. Like Fortnite doesn't have crossplay with PlayStation. I think that's a huge mistake on their end. But at the same time, it's like these games probably should have crossplay because of the fact that they're not the big AAA games like Fallout 76, freaking Call of Duty, Battlefield, things like that. Once those, I don't think those will ever go crossplay. I don't think those will ever had that type of thing, because especially since Call of Duty comes out every year, and then Fallout 76, I don't see them. I know they want it to be crossplay, but I think at the end of the day, I think they're really just going to be like, well, if they can't do crossplay, then oh well, they're not going to.
Well, you know what? Everything has to have a start. And shout out to Yao Ming in the chat, because he nailed it with this, and it is a start. It's literally the groundbreaking, like, let's force PlayStation. The devs have the power in this situation, and it's like they finally realized it. It's like,
with this game, though.
What?
You're not forcing them to do shit with this game. This game is not.
Yes, but it is
not
a
big enough title.
It's a start. You see this game do it, and then you see another game do it, and then you see another game do it, and all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you have a small library of games that are like cross-play only, and Sony's the only freaking studio in the whole world that's not allowing it. That's a big plus for all the companies and a big negative for Sony.
I'm loving Titan's passion right now.
I agree with the passion, and I love the passion, but I don't think these games are not huge. They're not like
this game is not. Yes,
this game is not. Fortnite is, and guess what happened? They didn't fall for that little
But this is the first game to do it, though. That's the point. This is the groundbreaking start.
I guess, man, but I mean, I don't see this.
You don't see other games like following suit.
Maybe indie games and games like similar to this, yes. But
I'll tell you what,
I don't see the bigger games like Battlefield or Call of Duty or something like that. I don't see it, man.
Okay, yeah, maybe not the AAA title huge games, but you know what? If a large enough, like, smaller, AA title, if a little group 5 to 10 games get on this, that's gonna make a big deal. That's gonna and I'm telling you, the developers have the power here. The developers can make Sony change stance or make them look really bad, and Sony doesn't want that because they already look terrible. I don't know if anyone notices this, but they're already known as the anti-consumer product of the century.
On Twitter, to us, yes. To us, yes.
Here's the deal.
Not in the majority of gamers.
Not according to ponies.
There's not a significant amount of people who hate on Sony because they don't have crossplay. There's not enough. There's just not enough.
Yeah. Hey, you take little 13-year-old Jimmy who fucking just bought Fortnite on his PS4 actually gives a shit.
What?
Wait, say that again.
I think Noof had a stroke. What happened?
I think you think little 13-year-old Jimmy who just bought Fortnite on his new PS4 actually gives a shit.
I'm dying, dude. I still didn't understand what the hell.
I don't know more of that.
I think Punk has a good example. He said something in the chat, so why don't you go ahead?
What up, Punk?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what you guys are saying. I mean, Sony is like just the monster right now that like this is so irrelevant. Like, it's like, what the fuck are we even talking about? Like you said, like, yeah, could an indie developer do it sometime? Maybe, but again, not an issue.
This is Bethesda. This isn't an indie developer.
But that's the thing. The game isn't significant enough.
Top news. This is crazy.
This is not top news. This is nothing. This is completely black.
This could turn into
shameful.
top news down the road.
It won't.
Well, let's talk about it then.
Fortnite, yes, was because that's a huge game. I agree. Fortnite should be.
Only
Shut up.
reason people are making a big fucking deal about this is because Bethesda. If it was anybody else, would give zero shits.
Yeah, because Bethesda is a big company. All right, well, let me get a vote in the chat. So, will this down the line? Give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. Will this down the line force Sony to make a change in their crossplay standards?
I've stated. All right, so I'm with Titan Drago. Like, I understand where you guys are at. It's a card game and it's this and that, but in the end, it's a business. You know, Bethesda can't come out and say, "Fuck you, PlayStation. We're taking all the games off." It's just like that doesn't happen. It's a business thing. You got to kind of ease it in. That's what she said. You can't just force your shit on them. It's a business relationship. At the end of the day, they need to sell their games still, and PlayStation owns the market share of 80 million consoles there. So why the fuck would they be like, hey, no Fallout 76 right off the bat? Like, they want to have cross-play, cross-progression, but it's not there at the moment. But it has to start somewhere. Like, it has to start somewhere.
Well, until crossplay gets to the point where somebody walks in to see a Walmart and they're looking at both of the shelves and they're going, Xbox or PlayStation, and they go, oh yeah, PlayStation doesn't have crossplay, so I guess I won't buy that one today. There you go. That's when it'll start mattering. Up until then, nope.
It's the cross progression. It's the main thing, man, and that comes with crossplay. The fact that you can own different consoles and take your progression with you is huge. Like with the Fortnite situation, that is an awesome thing to have. And if you haven't experienced it, then you can't really see what it does. Or if you're not a multi-console owner and it's not for you, that's fine. But I think crossplay is going to happen next generation. You can clip this audio and save it a couple years and shove it down my DMs in the future. But like, I'm going to tell you right now that crossplay is going to happen next gen. I'm with you.
That's the thing. If it didn't happen with Fortnite, what makes you guys think that it's going to happen with all these other games?
Well, we're talking about this generation, okay? Like, Sony has the market share this gen, but as we've seen in past generations, just because you have the market share doesn't mean that you can't be last place next gen. And if that happens, then they'll be forced to move. It's just money is power. So if you have two companies that are on the board, you have Nintendo and Xbox.
Let's look at it this way, okay? And this is going to be the first game that Bethesda uses to start off, and they go through with it. Bethesda is a company that stands by what they say. So this is the game that starts it. Games coming after that haven't been announced for PS4 already, especially in the future, like he was pointing out, they will do it. They are not afraid to do it. They don't give a shit one way or the other. If they didn't, why would they pull shit from Steam? I'm telling you that Bethesda is the company that will absolutely fucking do it. Yeah.
So you think they got the balls to do it with Elder Scrolls 6?
I guarantee they would.
They have a let's not undervalue the relationship that Todd Howard has with Microsoft. He was in that sizzle reel for the Scorpio. Bethesda has a great relationship with Microsoft. So the thing is like, if it's an industry thing behind closed doors, like, hey, cross progression, cross play, we're doing it. You know, who the fuck thought that Nintendo would come to the table with Xbox? The thing is, if you would have came to me 3 years ago and said, hey, crossplay, it's going to happen between Xbox and Nintendo, I would have called you a crazy person. Okay, the whole concept doesn't make sense. But the fact that Nintendo came to the table, broke bread with Xbox and said, hey, we're making this shit happen, and they don't do this shit, man. They don't do progressive stuff like that. So the fact that two of the biggest companies, there's three, Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, it's just a matter of time. So that's my thoughts on it.
There's going to be four. The Atari.
Yeah, the Atari box. the Google box. Anyway, let's get on this last topic because I put it in the title, clickbait shit, right? If you don't talk about what you put in the title, people get mad. So Gamescom leak, codename Washburn. What this is the Elite Controller version 2.0. It's rumored to be at the price point of $150. Tom Warren was talking about it. He talks about these things on Twitter. Xbox codename Washburn. It's $149 Xbox controller. that will ship in October. They're doing some modifications on the Elite controller. Do you guys care about this at all?
I think it's awesome.
It sounds like something that I got in high school with that one girl I ditched with. But no, I mean, I've had time with the Elite, not as much time as everybody else, but I haven't had my own. So I'll definitely be checking it out. I hope to pick it up one day, but I mean, I'm not, like ready to jump on it just yet. I want to, of course, check it out, see how it is. I bet it's going to look amazing, though.
True.
I mean, I want to hear more about LBG's little experience with this girl that he's skipped ditch with. I think this is, if they are, because this is supposed to be the Elite controller 2.0. I think they really have to step their game up with it. I think they have to really make the controller better than the first one, and I think they will, and I know they will, because of the fact that that's how Microsoft is. That's how they've always been, where they've taken something that's really great and made it better. So I mean, they just so to see that they're actually gonna do this, it's fantastic. I can't wait for this controller.
I just can't get over the price point. Like, all right,
I know, it's
$90.
It is a lot, man. I mean, $150 is not a safe bet for somebody who wants this game on a budget, But I think
it's like,
for a game, for a controller like this, though,
man.
exactly, they're a hell of a lot cheaper.
Seriously, all right, no, seriously, what makes it so much more? It's not laced with gold. It's not laced with platinum. It's a fucking control. It's made of the same fucking products. It's just got grips on it. It's got a couple extra things. It's not $150.
It's made with antimantium.
It's made with metal.
Made with
It's
love.
made with love, yeah.
Yeah, it's made, but that's the thing. I think why they want to make another Elite controller is for the fact that people were having problems with their thumbsticks. People were having problems with the grips on the back. I think they're just kind of like tweaking it here and there, and then coming out with it. Hopefully they do something like make other colors for it. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, you can't even personalize it. Like, damn, $150, you can't personalize it.
You can personalize it, but you have to go to Scuff in order to personalize it.
Ooh,
so it's like
equals more money.
Which exactly, it equals a heck of a lot more money.
Oh god.
And a lot of pros use Scuff. So I mean, if they can really get this controller right, then I could see a lot of people going more towards this controller than the Scuff, because of the Scuff, you don't get a warranty with it. You get a warranty with this controller though.
Well, the way people are talking about controllers breaking, they're going to have to make the next one out of titanium and fucking Fisher Price parts. Like, I don't know what to fucking do, man.
I mean, people were attacking me for the last day or two, because somebody mentioned something about the Washburn controller, and it's like, oh, I wonder if this is gonna break like the Elite. I was like, well, yeah, if people take care of it like responsible adults. And like, people just got pissed off at that comment. I was like,
I don't throw my controller around. What are you talking about?
Mention me in that
Pretty much.
in that post, and I'll fucking back you up, dude.
Well, that's the thing. I never had a problem with my Elite controller. I mean, the grips came off on the back and stuff like that, but that was only because, just me, kind of
sweating a lot.
Yeah, playing with it a lot. Throwing it around, kind of, when I get mad at some games or whatever. I know it's a $150 controller. Why would I do that? But
that's why you throw your $60 controller.
I know, but that's the thing. Like,
keep a dummy controller beside you.
You guys got to stop gripping your controllers like you grip your old lady's ass. I mean, that's the problem.
Hey, if you're not holding it for dear life, you're not holding it right.
Well,
And
sometimes
on that
some
note,
of us are only in the game, so just saying.
No way. Well, real quick, I play Smite with my buddy Whiskey, and this dude, I can hear him on my headset smashing buttons like, what the hell you doing over there, bro? I never make that sound. I don't think people realize how harsh they are in the controllers.
Well, it's because when you're playing a game,
anyway,
first in it that you just
anyway. All right, that concludes this episode. We'll get to the outros.
Anyway.
Salty has to get to dinner.
Anyway, yeah, I'm hungry.
Saltiest has to get to bed, so.
All right, it was an awesome episode. Honestly, the topics were quite thin, but we had an exciting episode. I think it was fucking a blast talking about the Nintendo Switch, man. Not a lot of podcasts like to talk about Nintendo shit for some reason, but we're a gaming podcast and we don't give a fuck. So that's what we talk about. Let's get to our special guest. Love having him on. He puts the comment back into sense. Titan Drago. Where can people find you?
I'm on everything at Titan Drago, man. And shout out tonight to BZ McNasty. And I always put it wrong. I put Beastie, I put Beasley, you know. But shout out to BZ McNasty, the indie gamer, and Yao Ming tonight for bringing the common back to sense.
Love that. Love that phrase. Awesome. Punk Kiddish Gaming, where can people find you?
You can find me doing the Mustache Ride 69. Now you guys find me on Twitter, Punkadish Gaming on Xbox, just Punkadish, and of course every Thursday here at 9 Eastern. Man, love talking to you guys. Great show. Love you guys.
Yeah. Dark Optimus, where can people find you?
Hey, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Anonymous. You can also find me on Xbox Live, the same name. You guys can check me out every Saturday on the next podcast. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And you guys can always find me here on the Saltiest Gaming Podcast, hanging out with you guys.
Awesome. Bloody Knuckles, where can people find you?
They can find me on my channel at Bloody Knuckles. They can also find me on Twitter and Mixer.com at Bloody Knuckles. The O's are zeros, the E's are threes. Of course, they can find me here every Thursday and every Friday with the GRG crew, with K-Meg and the rest, or on Saturdays on my show with the Smash Podcast, your corner for nerdy news and geeky goodness.
And Nuke Nukem, where can people find you?
Well, hey, you know me, guys. I'm either going down on a hamburger or a fur burger, but I'm always in the gutters. So that's how I roll. So I will see you guys again on the next episode of the Saltiest Gaming Podcast, and it's usually Monday nights with Glitcher and Company. Yo.
You're going down for fur burgers, man. I didn't know that fur trapping was still a thing.
I'm not going to try it, brother.
LBG, where can people find you?
Man, you guys know where you can find me. You can find me on Twitch at Lazy Black Gamer Guy. You can find me on Mixer and Twitter and Facebook, and, well, if you still mess with Facebook, and IG at Lazy Black Gamer. On my Twitter, you look at my pin tweet. Currently have a giveaway going on, giving away a copy of Spider-Man. Just, follow the rules in the pin tweet. You'll be entered to win. Also giving away some nice little Fortnite pins on my Mixer at the end of each week, 6, 7, and 8. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I have everybody's social media contacts in the description. So make sure you enter that contest and support our panel members out. Follow them on Twitter, DM them, ask them for pics, whatever you guys want to do. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Like I was saying before, got a contest going on for 2,000 subscribers. It's going to be a $60 gift card to Nintendo eShop, a PlayStation Store, or Xbox Live. $60. You just got to enter that Gleam giveaway. The details are going to be in the description. The link, you can click on it and enter it. It's not that hard. You can watch a video. You could sub. You could, if you're already subbed, you can, get credit for that. And you could win. We're going to announce the giveaway next week on this podcast. You need to be present to win. It is in the details, so make sure you enter that. You could win $60 for free anyway. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, send some smoke signals out, share it on your local Twitter account, Facebook, tell your friends about this channel, subscribe. Yeah, anyway, we're out. Peace.